What it do? Bedtime crew. Hey man, listen, today I'm here to give you guys my full card predictions for UFC 316, which is taking place this weekend. We've got an amazing main event, Morab versus O'Malley 2, the rematch we've all been waiting for. The GOAT, Juliana Pena versus Kayla Harrison. Officer Joe Piper's on the card. Kelvin Gastelum's going to be here. Mario Batista, Patchy Mix from Bellator, Vicente Luque, my GOAT, Kevin Holland, Joshua Van, Quillin Salkilled. I believe Sergei Spivac is on this card as well. And the rest are nobodies. But hey, man, let's get into this. Starting off early prelims. What do we got? I saw JDM on the screen there for a second. We got Maderos versus, what is this guy's name? Mark Chinsky. Now, I'm going to be picking Maderos to win this fight by TKO. I believe that Chinsky, I don't know how Chinsky, I don't know what this kid's name is, but he has no picture on Google. He has no height, and his wins are against not the best competition. He does seem to have very good grappling. He has a lot of submissions on his record. But I think that Maderos is just a little bit higher level. I think he's more well-rounded. He had a pretty boring last fight, but he showed against someone decent like Austin Hubbard that he can grapple. He has pretty solid striking as well. I think that he's going to get a TKO in this fight. I think he's going to defend some grappling early on, maybe survive some sort of submission attempt from Chinsky early on. And then I feel like on short notice, the level of difference between these guys in terms of who they fought in their career, who they're fighting currently. I'm just going to say that Maderos wins this fight. I think he's just going to be more prepared. I think he's going to have a striking advantage. He's probably going to get a TKO either on the feet or maybe like ground and pound, like reversing position, ending up on top. I'm going to say like round 2 or 3 TKO or maybe a decision. I'm going to say Maderos wins that fight though, all right? Now, this is a fight I've been waiting to fucking talk about, dude. Mate, Quillin fucking Salkilled. Bro, this guy's gonna be fucking champ, dude. This guy's coming for the fucking belt, mate. I'm picking Quillin Salkilled to win this fight by decision, man. This is a little bit of a step up from fucking Anshul Jubilee. I think we can all agree on that. This is a tiny bit of a step up from the King of Lions, Anshul Jubilee. Moose or whatever this guy's name is, he's pretty hard to finish. He is pretty high level. I do think that he's going to be going the distance in this fight. The reason I'm picking Salkilled by decision, even though I'm like confident in his skills, is because Ashmuz, I know he's going to shoot a lot of takedowns. I know he's a pretty decent grappler. I also think he has pretty decent power, as we saw he knocked out Sam Patterson, which is kind of aging well. And I feel like in this fight, he's going to be hard to finish because he's pretty durable. He has that power to kind of let Quillin Salkilled not just get too comfortable against him. But I think all in all, Salkild's just going to be better on the feet. I think he's going to be pushing the pace because he's already been 5 rounds in his career. We saw in the Contender Series that he can really go like constantly in your face, ripping the body shots, going with the jab. He has good takedown defense and scrambling. We've seen him scramble a lot in some of his fights. Even on the regional scene, I've seen this guy out-grapple pretty high-level guys like Don Marfan, who is on road to UFC right now. So I feel like all in all in this fight, Ashmuz is definitely going to be harder than Anshul Jubilee, but I see Quillin Salkilled being able to scramble with him. I think on the feet, he's going to just piece him up with the jabs. I think he's going to look for some knees as Ashmuz comes in. I think some body shots will be there backing him up. And I think this is going to be a 30-27 decision for Quillin Salkilled in this fight. Definitely like definitely a step up, but I also feel like this is a very winnable matchup, and there's no real like weaknesses in the game of Salkilled. Like, I feel like these are the type of fights where we're going to see what he might be lacking when it comes to the UFC level, but I still think he wins this fight. Like I said, I trust him to scramble. I think his cardio is a big weapon that he has. His range, his reach, he's going to use his jab. He's going to get on the inside, rip to the body, push him back, land knees when he tries to come in. I think that this is a matchup where Salkild's physicality, his cardio, and just his well-rounded skill set, I feel like he's going to win this one by decision, okay, dude? Next fight to talk about, I mean, how do you not talk about this fight? Jeka Sergei, this kid's a badass, versus Yu Jo Sang, okay? Now, I've gone above and beyond for this video. I watched tape. I'm not going to get on here and say, oh, who is this guy, Ju Yong Sang? I don't know this kid from fucking Squid Game. I'm not picking him, bro. I'm going to pick this guy to win. I'm going to pick Ju Sang to win this fight by TKO. Now, I am a little bit nervous. Again, when I see someone on Google with no picture, unless they're like from Bellator or something, That makes me kind of nervous, you know. I'm sweating fucking bricks right now, you know. But I'm going to pick this guy to win by TKO because watching him fight, I've seen him go 3 rounds. He does have decent cardio. He's not a first round KO merchant. He moves around on the feet kind of like a Conor McGregor, a little bit of like Mauricio Rufy to the way that he fights. If you watch some of his fights, he has that kind of like karate stance, like he's kind of pulling with the lead hand. He goes to the body really well. And I feel like at some point in this fight, he's going to be able to counterpunch Sergei, maybe back him up to the fence. I think he's going to land some body shots, maybe an uppercut up against the fence and just drop him because Sergei is just not that good, dude. I feel like the only way this guy wins is like fluke from behind knockout. Like when I watched him fight Lucas Alexander, for example, in the Apex, this guy's losing the whole fight. He's getting backed up with body kicks, punches down the middle. I think that's what Ju Sang is going to do, whatever this guy's. I feel like fucking Rampage right now trying to pronounce this shit. But this guy, Sang, is going to push back Sergei. And if he doesn't get fluked, I think he knocks out Sergei inside 2 rounds. This guy got finished by fucking Anshul Jubilee, dude. Need I say more? The only way Sergei wins this fight is like fluke KO from out of nowhere. But I'm going to say that, the Asian McGregor is going to pull this one off. I think he gets this one done by fucking TKO, dude. That was like a Rampage Jackson level breakdown by me, all right? Headlining the early prelims, we've got Wong Tong versus Ariane Lipsky. I'm picking Wong Tong, dude. I know her name says Wang Tong, but if you listen to John Anik, if you're a real hardcore, you know that it's actually pronounced Wong Tong. I think she wins this fight by decision. I could see a knockout happening, but I'm not going to overthink this. This is fucking women's MMA, dude. And Wang Tong is actually dangerous. Like she's actually powerful. She has submissions on her record. She looked great in her last fight when she ruined my fucking parlay by beating Bruna Brazil. I'm going to pick her. I'm not going to overthink this. I'm not going to try and fraud check her. I do think she will be ranked pretty quickly at women's flyweight. They're going to want to move her up the division to fight Valentina Shevchenko. I think this is the type of matchup. You're fighting someone on a 2-fight losing streak that's been in the UFC for a while. Kind of like a win one, lose one type of fighter. I just feel like Wong Tong has more potential and she's just more well-rounded, especially on the feet. I feel like there's a really big difference between these two. I do think Lipsky could get a submission if she really steps up, but I'm not going to try and put that out in the universe. I just think Wong Tong's going to win by decision or by TKO, okay? Let's move on to the prelims. My GOAT JDM showing up again. First fight to talk about, we got Chaos Williams versus Andreas Gustafson. Now, I wanted to pick Gustafson. I was kind of excited about this fight, but then I watched some footage and I'm going to be picking Chaos Williams to win this fight. I think that Chaos Williams will be winning this fight by knockout, dude. And the reason I say that is Gustafson is very high pace. He's a very exciting fighter to watch. But what he does is he goes out there just head down, swinging for the fucking bleachers. He usually gets rocked a bit early on. I've seen a lot of his fights where he gets rocked early on in the first round. He builds into it, gets a hold of the guy he's fighting in the clinch, starts landing elbows, knees to the body, slowly breaks them down. And I think that is a possibility here against Chaos Williams, but we're talking about a fucking S-tier flukester here, dude. We are talking about a S-tier level fluke knockout artist in Chaos Williams. I really feel like this guy's going to flatline Gustafson, dude. I'm sorry to say this. I like Gustafson. I've seen him on social media. He's pretty funny. I feel like Chaos Williams with a huge reach advantage and just more experience in the UFC, and he's more likely to land something big early on. Gustafson, like I've said, in some of his fights, early on, he's fucking rushing in head down. He's getting clipped with really, really heavy shit by worse fighters. And I think Chaos Williams, he's not technically sound, but his power and his ability to fluke people is it's a real thing. It's a real factor. It really is. I think he's going to chin Gustafson in the first round. I think he's going to land some sort of left hook in an exchange. Like Gustafson just rushes into him. He's got those octagon jitters of his first fight. There's a crowd there. He rushes in, gets clipped with a fucking left hook, gets finished. Or maybe like a shot behind the ear. Like maybe he comes in for a clinch and Chaos just kind of lands something behind the ear and drops him face first. I'm going to say Chaos Williams wins by KO. Round 1 at the latest, like early round 2. I'm going to say round 1 KO for Chaos Williams, dude. All right, man. Next fight to talk, Sergei Spivac, he's a great fighter, He done well against Marcin Tybura, I'm picking Sergei Spivac to beat Waldo Cortez Acosta. I think that the reign of terror of fucking Waldo Cortez Acosta has ended. You cannot fucking emote your way out of this one, buddy. This ain't Andrei Arlovsky across from you. This isn't fucking Roblobus de Spain standing across from you. I don't know how this guy is on a fucking 5-fight winning streak. It is hilarious. And I almost want him to win this fight and like emote his way to the top. Like I want to see this guy heavy breathing, like emoting in front of Tom Aspinall. Like I really do want to see that. You know, the dream fight is Waldo versus Shamil for the belt, but I'm just going to be a realist, dude. Sergei Spivac only loses to top 5 level fighters, man. Curtis Blades, Sergey Pavlovich, Jelton Almeida, Cyril Gahn, like Tom Aspinall. These are the guys that are beating Sergei Spivac. Like these are the guys that I think would beat him or have already beat him. If you're not those guys, you are losing to Sergei Spivac, dude. I think on the feet, Sergei Spivac looks completely fucking lost. But even in his worst performances, even against Gahn and against fucking, I don't even know, like Aspinall, he can still get a hold of people. Like he can still cause a clinch. And I don't think Waldo Cortez Acosta has one-shot knockout power at heavyweight unless you're a complete, like, fucking, like, if you're Ryan Spann, you're cooked. But otherwise, this guy's taking fucking Arlovsky to a decision. I think Spivac's going to be alright. I think he's going to be safe. I think that Sergei Spivac has a major grappling advantage. And like I said, he's only losing to top 5 level guys. I think that Sergei Spivac, you know, he's going to get a hold of him. He's going to land some sort of trip, take him down, belly flop on top of him. I think he's going to get a round 1 ground and pound TKO. I think he's just going to end up in mount or top half guard, and he's just going to beat the shit out of Waldo Cortez Acosta by TKO. The smell of the octagon is going to be absolutely fucking putrid after these two are rolling around in there. And yeah, man, I think Sergei Spivac's going to win by KO. Listen, kid, the professional is coming. The professional is here. Azamat Mosakanov, he had to take a little break. You know, he had to do some Uber trips. He had to, do some taxi trips. Had to get his money up. He's done on the Uber scene. I'm getting reports from Azamat Mosakanov's team that he has stopped driving for Uber full time. He is now locked in on his UFC title run. And I think the professional is coming for Brenson Ribeiro, dude. I think that Mosakanov is going to win by KO inside 2 rounds. He has a very, very sneaky level of power. I like the way that he fights as well because he's patient. Like, he does have, like, he has bad cardio, but he doesn't at the same time. Like, when he gets to round 3, he does slow down, but he can still rock you and make good decisions. And early on, he just has this crazy ability to just dip his head to the side and land some sort of bomb over your punches or around the guard or something like that. I think that in this fight against someone like Brenson Ribeiro, who's just not that level, like not ranked, never gonna be ranked, not that level of fighter, got knocked out cold by fucking Zhang Ming Yang with like the most basic combo ever. I think Brenson Ribeiro is not winning this fight, dude. I think Azamat Mosakanov is going to ride out some sort of early moment. And when I say some sort of early moment, I think Brenson Ribeiro is the type of guy to hit the guard of Mosakanov and think he's rocked and start bum rushing him. And I think Mosakanov's just going to slip out the way, sleep him with a fucking right hand over the top, maybe a left hand in the pocket. I'm going to say Azamat Mosakanov wins by KO. Late round 1, early round 2. Starts off a little bit patient, flicking some calf kicks. Brenson Ribeiro lands something big, maybe attempts a takedown, holds him against the fence for a bit. As soon as they go back out in the open and Mosakanov gets the chance, he's going to counterpunch, land something big. I think he's going to finish Ribeiro late round 1, early round 2 at the latest. Okay, man? Main event of the prelims. Joshua Van will be UFC champion. The title run will continue. Bruno Silva, your time has come, brother. There's no way out of this one. I'm picking Joshua Van by fucking TKO, dude. I don't give a fuck, dude. People are like, oh, dude, no, dude. Bruno Silva, man, he's so fucking good, dude. He's too powerful. He's so sneaky, dude. Listen, I think Bruno Silva will probably win the first round. This is every Joshua Van fight. Bruno Silva's going to win the first round. He probably will jump some sort of guillotine at any chance he gets. Maybe he lands something big and then tries to get a takedown or takes down Joshua Van, holds him down. But after that, as soon as this fight gets like midway through round 1, we start getting to round 2, we start getting to round 3, I think Joshua Van is going to piece this guy up. I think he's going to melt him. I think he's going to break him, dude. Joshua Van's going to be throwing front kicks to the bodies. He's going to be throwing jabs. He's going to be countering with the overhand right, landing, ripping to the body. I think he's gonna push Bruno Silva on the back foot, and we saw Bruno Silva just unravel. As soon as Manel Kape gets in there with him, someone that's fast, someone that has great counterpunching, great takedown defense, not chinny, you know what I mean? Doesn't matter about the size. I think Joshua Van is going to be able to really walk down Bruno Silva after the first round. And I feel like because Bruno Silva is so dangerous at flyweight, he does swing really big. Like, I feel like he's going to miss some really big shots and try to KO Joshua Van because, let's be real, he's not taking down Joshua Van consistently. Like, Joshua Van's takedown defense is so good. You just watch every one of his fights. If you don't get the perfect takedown on Joshua Van, you are not taking him down. He's stuffing your head into the canvas. He's making you tired. He's getting back up. He's going straight after you again with the calf kicks, with the front kicks, with the jab, with the body shot. And I feel like in this fight, it is basically Silva either KOs Joshua Van with something crazy, or Joshua Van pieces him up for 3 rounds and maybe finishes him late round 3, which is what I think is going to happen. Because Silva's the type of guy that he's not like a Charles Johnson. He doesn't have that kind of sneaky accuracy. Like, he is a little bit wild. And I think as the fight goes on and as he gets a little bit more tired, he's going to be swinging really big and missing. And I think Joshua Van's going to be able to counterpunch him, rock him, put him up against the fence. And I think he's going to finish him with maybe body shots or, you know, just a flurry up against the fence. And Silva just kind of collapses into a takedown. The ref stops it. I'm going to say Joshua Van puts on a great performance, wins by TKO. So my picks for the prelims, I got Joshua Van, I got Mosakanov, I got Sergei Spivac. I got Chaos Williams by knockout. I've got Wong Tong. I've got Yu Ju Sang. Okay, this kid's a superstar. I got Quillin Salkeld, and I got Markel Maderos. All right, man. Let's move on to the main card and the first fight to talk about. I'm very excited for this fight, dude. Vicente Luque versus Kevin Holland. How the fuck is this guy only 33 years old? It feels like Luque is like 40. And I think when people look at this matchup, they kind of, and every Luque matchup, to be honest, they treat Luque as if he's 40 years old. I think he's going to beat Kevin Holland. I actually think Luque is going to look good in this fight, and I think he's going to beat Kevin Holland. Now, when it comes to a Holland fight, there's always the risk of him fluking you with a KO, right? He has this ability of just randomly dropping people, even if they're completely whooping his ass. And Luque's chin, obviously, is always going to be a factor to consider after, you know, some of the health issues that he's had. But if you're pointing to the Buckley fight, I feel like, first of all, Buckley's just better than Holland. We can all agree on that right now, right? We can agree that all around Buckley is just better than Holland and just a better fighter, more mentally strong, everything, like more well-rounded, actually talented on the feet and in the grappling. Kevin Holland just has crazy power. And he does have good grappling, but I think it's going to be neutralized against Luque. And I'm going to say this. I think Luque is just better than Holland everywhere. Like, I think in the grappling, they're pretty even. I think technically, I think power-wise, they're pretty equal. But on the feet, I think Luque is better than Holland. I think defensively and offensively, he is actually better than Kevin Holland. I think that in this fight, you know, this ain't fucking Ponzi, dude. This isn't, and Ponzi was arguably 1-1 with Holland or winning that fight. Same with Gunnar Nelson, bro. Arguably could have won that fight if he didn't get chinned and doesn't fight every 2 years. I think Luque in this fight is going to chew up Kevin Holland with calf kicks. I think in the pocket, I can just see Kevin Holland rushing in, trying to do something, getting rocked with like a right overhand, just moving, you know, getting backed up a little bit, right? And just being too aggressive or just being on the outside. And I think in the grappling, it's going to be pretty even. Like, they both obviously love using that D'Arce choke. But Kevin Holland, I'm going to say, is more likely to end up getting taken down and controlled on his back. Like, I think Luque can take down Kevin Holland and control him safely. I don't think Kevin Holland can take down Luque if he needs to. I think Kevin Holland either gets pieced up on the feet, or if he does better on the feet than I think, like the calf kicks don't really bother him, or maybe, you know, Luque doesn't rock him, or Luque gets dropped for a flash second. I think Luque is going to be able to control Kevin Holland if he grapples him. I think that this is honestly like Vicente Luque is more well-rounded, probably as good at Kevin Holland in the grappling, or maybe just slightly worse, I think, in pure finishing ability. But even then, that's not really fair to say. I just think Luque's better, and he's not that chinny anymore, and I don't think Kevin Holland's actually that good that he can chin Luque. Like, that's really what it is. Maybe he could. I'm going to say he doesn't. I'm going to say Vicente Luque wins by decision. I'm going to say Kevin Holland's definite, bro. 110%, if Luque wins by decision, Kevin Holland will act like he got robbed. after getting controlled the entire fight. Taken down, held down from half guard. Maybe Luque lands some elbows, looks for some sort of submission attempt. I think they're going to have some fun scrambles on the ground. But yeah, like I said, all in all, I think Luque is better on the feet, more accurate, a little bit more technically sound. He has the calf kicks there. He does well against taller fighters. And I feel like Kevin Holland cannot really take down Luque. It's up to Luque where the fight takes place. I think he wins that matchup, all right, man? I'm going to say Luque wins by decision and the title run continues, all right? Next fight to talk about, we got Mario Batista, this fucking terrorist of the sport versus Patchy Mix. They've deployed Patchy Mix to get Mario Batista out of here. I think he's going to get the job done. I think Patchy Mix is going to win this fucking fight. I'm sticking with my Bellator plot armor, dude. I don't care. I'm not giving up on the shot because one shot didn't go in. Plenty of other Bellator plot armor shots have gone in for me, man. Chandler over Hooker. I picked that. I was that guy at the bar. All right? MVP over Holland. I picked that. I'm that guy. You know what I mean? I've got countless other examples. Rainier Derrida. I said, bro, trust me. This guy's coming in with that debut plot armor. I think Patchy Mix is going to win this fight by decision. I do think that Mario Batista, yes, I could see him getting submitted. I want to see him slept out cold. I don't think those are going to happen. I do think that the grappling of Patchy Mix is going to be a really big factor in dissuading Batista from nut hugging him. I think honestly, even if Patchy gets taken down, I think he could submit or threaten submissions off his back against Mario Batista. And I feel like Mario Batista, yes, he has improved from his earlier losses, but I don't think he can outstrike Patchy Mix. I think that there's a power advantage for Patchy Mix. And I think in the grappling, like, you've got a guy that just takes people down, controls them, or just can't even take them down, just fucking holds them. And you've got a guy in Patchy Mix that can submit pretty decent level guys like Sergio Pettis, Magomedov, or whatever the fucking guy's name, the auto-generated guy in Bellator. Apparently, he's quite good. Patchy Mix obviously knocked out dude, he knocked out freaking Rafi in starts, dude. Oh my god, dude. You know who else did that? Morab, bro. I think Patchy Mix wins this fight by decision. I think that he's going to piece up Mario Batista out in the open. I think Mario Batista will maybe clinch him up a little bit, try and take him down, but I don't think he can really get anything offensively going against Patchy Mix. I think that, yeah, I feel like he's not going to be able to really control Patchy Mix without getting threatened with submissions. And I think on the feet, maybe Patchy Mix is not the technical striker that Jose Aldo is, but I think he has more straight up power at bantamweight. Like, he's more of a finisher. And I think he's a little bit more versatile. He's got better cardio. I do think Patchy Mix wins this fight, but I think it's going to be a decision. I'm going to say 30-27, maybe one scorecards 29-28. I don't think Mario Batista gets dominated in this fight, but I just feel like he clearly loses this just because Mix is more well-rounded. I think he's a better striker. He's more dangerous on the feet. And I think in the grappling, he can really dissuade Mario Batista from just nut hugging him. So, yeah, hopefully it's a fucking knockout. Hopefully, and dude, by the way, last thing I'll say about this. Can we please get a referee body cam for Mario Batista Patchy Mix if there's a knockout? Can we please have Mark Goddard body cammed up in case Patchy Mix wins this by fucking knockout? Please, bro. We need that for IG Reels. My IG Reels feed needs that Mario Batista knockout footage, all right? Speaking of body cams, we got Big Joe Pyfer versus Kelvin Gastelum. I'm picking Joe Pyfer, dude. I'm picking Joe Pyfer. Now, if you've been keeping up with the channel for a while, you may remember that I originally picked Kelvin Gastelum to win this fight. But I've changed my mind. I think that Kelvin Gastelum is not going to win this fight, but I do think he's going to survive to a decision. I'm going to say Joe Pyfer wins this by either submission. I think if there's a finish here, it is Joe Pyfer by submission, or Joe Pyfer by decision is my pick, because Kelvin Gastelum is a fucking blob. There's nothing else to say about this. He is a fridge. He is a blob. He is Mexican. That being said, that means he's not going to get chin, but that also means that Officer Pyfer's coming in ready to go. Really fucking motivated with that right hand. I think that Pyfer's going to drop Kelvin Gastelum in the first round. I think at first it's going to be Kelvin Gastelum doing his little like kissy face at range, like just swinging the fucking lead arm. I'm doing it perfectly in real life. I wish I could show you, but I'm mimicking KG perfectly. KG's at range, doing his little like I don't care type face, flick some calf kicks, some jabs. I think when Kelvin Gastelum gets on the inside, he's going to start trying to duck under the punches of Joe Pyfer. And I think eventually Pyfer's going to land like an uppercut up the middle or like a grazing left hook behind the ear when KG ducks down. And I think that Kelvin Gastelum's going to get dropped. I think he's going to immediately dive for a takedown. And I think the rest of the fight is going to be Joe Pyfer just piecing up Kelvin Gastelum with the jab, ripping to the body, landing hard leg kicks, looking for big knees up the middle or big uppercuts. Kelvin Gastelum shooting some takedowns. I do think that he may be able to take down Joe Pyfer, but I think Pyfer has pretty solid grappling. I think he's going to be able to defend the takedowns. I think he may spend some time just controlling Kelvin Gastelum on top after defending a takedown, if that makes sense. Like kind of smushing him down, ending up on top, landing some ground and pound. I don't think it's going to be a brutal decision for Joe Pyfer. I think he will just drop KG early on, have more control time defending the takedowns, and I think he's just too big for Kelvin Gastelum as well. I think that KG will land some good calf kicks, maybe land something big, but I don't think he has the power at middleweight to really rock Joe Pyfer or really like dissuade him from getting a takedown or, you know, holding him down. Like, I just think the size difference, I think in the striking, Joe Pyfer's power is going to be such a huge factor. Yeah, maybe a submission for Officer Pyfer, but I'm going to say he wins this one by unanimous decision. 30-27, maybe a 29-28, maybe Kelvin Gastelum comes on late, but yeah, I think Joe Pyfer, not at Mexican elevation, is going to be fine for 3 rounds. I think he wins that fight by decision. Okay, man. Co-main event. I'm picking Juliana Pena, dude. I'm picking Juliana Pena, dude. Fuck this. I'm picking Juliana Pena. Hear me out, bro. Hear me out. You got to walk with me on this one. Okay? You got to walk with me on this. First and foremost, okay? Kayla Harrison will win the first round clearly. If you are with me on this train of picking Juliana Pena, you're going to be absolutely fucking shitting yourself in that first round. Because I think that Kayla Harrison in the first round is probably going to get a hold of Juliana Pena and take her down. Just have her flat on her back, maybe control her from half guard. I don't think she's going to do a lot of damage. Maybe she'll land some big elbows, but Juliana Pena, she's such a she is just a cockroach, bro. In the best way possible. She is the ultimate cockroach maxer, dude. She will literally survive anything. After watching the Nunes and Pennington fights, she will survive literally anything. I don't think she gets finished unless she shoots a terrible takedown early on. The only way I see Kayla Harrison winning this fight is round 1 submission or TKO. That is my honest to God opinion. I think she's not actually that good at striking. I think as the fight goes on, Juliana Pena is going to be landing a goofy little jab down the middle. I think in the clinch, she's just going to be ripping punches to the body, punching Kayla Harrison any chance she gets off her back in the clinch, out in the open. I think she's just going to be hitting Kayla Harrison as much as she can, just spamming punches, spamming knees. And I honestly think that Raquel Pennington and Ketlin Vieira are both better straight up strikers than Kayla Harrison. Obviously, Nunes, I think, is better than all these guys. But I think Juliana Pena has proven a little bit more that she can stand and land decent shots. Like, I think she's going to land her goofy fucking boxing. I think she's going to land some right hands over the top. I think she's going to start, you know, walking down Kayla Harrison or just jabbing with her. And out of who do I think is tougher over 5 rounds? I think Juliana Pena does better over 5 rounds than Kayla Harrison. She's never made 135 on the dot. I sound like Pena right now. 5 rounds at 135. I'm sorry, but against someone that is genuinely a cockroach, that you either finish in 1 round or you're going 5 rounds and you're doing this huge weight cut and you're not actually that good at striking, like you just throw your little front kicks that never land or you throw your body kicks, your boxing is kind of meh. I think this is like a female Bo Nickel versus Rainier Derrida. I think Pena's going to have an okay first round. I think she's going to land some jabs. I think she's going to land some right hands over the top. Then she's going to like run into Kayla Harrison like, and get taken down and maybe lose that round. Maybe it's like a close kind of round. Kayla Harrison lands some elbows at the end, like the last 10 seconds. Round 2, I think from 2, 3, and 4, we're going to see Juliana Pena defending double legs from Kayla Harrison, push her into the fence, out in the open, start landing right hands over the top, landing her jab, you know, avoiding that front kick from Kayla Harrison, which is like the only thing she throws. Otherwise, it's just going to be Kayla Harrison going big left hand, try and get the double leg. And I think as the fight goes on, she's going to slow down. And I think she's going to start to lose to Juliana Pena on output. Like Juliana Pena will be landing more significant strikes as the fight goes on. And I think on damage as well. Like Kayla Harrison, I don't think she's going to get like bloodied up and her face swelling. But I think Juliana Pena is going to start to like low-key land some shit and make Kayla Harrison really uncomfortable. So I'm going to say this is female Rainier Dorita versus Bo Nickel, but there's not going to be a finish. If there is a finish, like I said, if Juliana Pena shoots a takedown in the first round and it's terrible and she gets guillotined, I could really see that happening. But otherwise, I'm saying Juliana Pena cockroaches this one out. She survives a tough first round. She has, some sort of elbow opens her up. And then the rest of the fight, she's just doing her fucking self-defense boxing, dude. She's defending double leg. She's making Kayla Harrison uncomfortable. She's pushing her back. Mike Brown's in the corner telling her that she needs to fucking lock in. I don't think it's actually going to be that easy for Kayla Harrison. I think Juliana Pena wins this fight. She's tougher over 5 rounds. She's the better striker in my opinion. I know that's hilarious to say. I think she's actually just a straight up better boxer, which is going to be the majority of this fight. Like, Kayla Harrison has a good body kick, but I don't see that like finishing Juliana Pena. And I think Kayla Harrison's actual wrestling is not that effective. Like, we saw Ketlin Vieira defend a lot of her takedowns over that 3-round fight. And I think Juliana Pena, like, when she defends a takedown like that, she's not going to stand there at range trying to be all technical. She's just going to get after you and start hitting you. So I think that's going to be the biggest difference. Juliana Pena will just get on Kayla Harrison. Anytime she has any success, she's just going to start walking her down, landing her goofy shit. And I think it's going to flutter Kayla Harrison and fuck with her, dude. I'm going to say Juliana Pena wins by decision. All right, man. And in the main event, we got Morab versus O'Malley 2. I'm going to pick Morab by decision. I really want to pick Sean O'Malley, dude. I really want to get on here and say, dude, Sean O'Malley's different, dude. Sean O'Malley's not gooning anymore, man. Sean O'Malley's locked in, but I'm not going to overthink this, bro. I feel like Morab is the type of matchup that's just going to stall out and mitigate O'Malley's striking. Like, I think O'Malley in this fight will rock or drop Morab badly at some point in round 2. I think he's going to land some sort of big body shot, maybe just a right hand down the middle as Morab's coming in. I think Morab will get rocked or dropped badly in round 2 because I think he's going to come into this fight a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more reckless, just kind of fucking around. And I think he's going to be shooting more takedowns, but getting less control time. But I think that the way that Morab fights, like, you can't really break it down to like, well, Sean O'Malley's technically better at this, and this, and he's going to do better defending the takedowns. He's going to scramble better. I think he will scramble way better. I think he will be able to defend like 70% plus of Morab's takedowns. I think it's going to be like an abysmal percentage of successful takedowns from Morab. But dude, this guy just has a way of emoting and swaying the judges. If he gets a hold of O'Malley, even if he's on a failed single leg, he's going to start punching him up against the fence. He's going to land some sneaky shit out in the open just from the mere threat of him shooting a takedown. And I think that O'Malley in this fight, yes, he's prepared to scramble better. He's going to be able to defend the takedowns, but I think he's going to be way too tactical. And I feel like in this fight, he's going to be like, trying to win, like, okay, I won that exchange, land something big. All right, I'm not going to rush it, right? I don't want to get taken down. And I feel like as the fight goes on, he's going to lose some of the sting in his punches in round 4 and 5. He's still going to be able to damage Morab, but I just don't think he finishes Morab. And I think the best way to finish Morab would be a submission. So I feel like O'Malley, he will do better in this match than the first fight. But I feel like Morab has also shown that he knows how to win. Like, I think he's going to do better in the striking in this fight, but worse in the grappling, if that makes sense. And I feel like it's going to be the opposite for O'Malley. Like, O'Malley will show way better defensive grappling and maybe threaten some sort of guillotine, but I feel like on the feet, he's just going to get stifled by how... There's no other way to say how retarded Morab fights. Like, I feel like there's no other way to say it. Morab is just almost so bad that it makes him effective. And I feel like he's just going to stifle O'Malley and not really let him get going. And every time he has success, I feel like O'Malley in the back of his mind is going to be thinking, I don't want to rush in and get taken down. So I'm going to say Morab wins the first, third, and fifth round of this fight. I think it's going to be a boring first round. I think the rest of the fight will actually end up being pretty exciting. A lot of it will take place on the feet. I think O'Malley will have some cool scrambles. Morab will try and land some shit on the feet, do his emoting. O'Malley will rock him or drop him in round 2. And I feel like as the fight goes on, Morab's cardio and just ability to emote and, rack up significant strikes against the fence, hold him, spam takedowns, make O'Malley look like shit on the feet, and bide time until it gets to round 4 and 5, where O'Malley's still going to be dangerous, but I don't know if he has one-shot knockout power in those rounds. So I think once this fight leaves round 3, it's going to a decision. It's going to be a close fight. It's going to be a 48-47. I'm just going to say Morab wins this fight, just based on momentum and just based on the way that he fights, just kind of shutting down what O'Malley's good at. So I will say Morab wins this by decision. I hope O'Malley wins just because I think it would be more interesting for the division, but we'll see, boys. We'll see. Those are my picks for UFC 316. Let me know your predictions in the comments down below. You guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Make sure you drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Go follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Bedtime MMA, and I will see you guys in the next video, man. Goodbye.